And I think of all the work you have done and the time you have spent, and I know some of you said, well, we did. You have made change, and I've seen it in every congregation. So hear me, I have seen it in every congregation. So congratulations.
In May of 2024, the first class to be part of the Tending Our Soil initiative ended with a celebration of all their hard work that began in the middle of the pandemic. These congregations spent 3 years on revitalization through cultivating a culture of learning and adaptive leadership to meet their changing contexts. At our celebration event, the congregational team spent time reflecting on the work they had done and on what is next for them. As leaders of this initiative, we wanted to learn what was most beneficial to our congregations, so we did a survey of the congregations that graduated to see what was helpful and what they learned. And one of my takeaways that was supported by the survey was that taking time to listen before acting is important.
We also learned that for over 90% of our congregations, coming to understand your mission, vision, and values was an important guide to choosing strategic goals to bring about change, and that while relationship with neighbors is challenging to form, over 50% of survey participants said they had strengthened their relationship with their neighbors during Tending Our Soil.
Chris Holmes, who worked with the Tending Our Soil team from almost the very beginning, had this to say about the initiative.
So one thing I've noticed is that a lot of your congregations have been around for a long time. They develop patterns and they have a way of being church. Tending Our Soil has been a chance for congregations to rethink, okay, what does it mean for us to be church now and in this time and in this setting? That's really important because I do think God keeps shifting and God's movement in the world, and too often the church has stayed the same and stagnant in many cases. So rethinking purpose, rethinking who are our neighbors, and being open to the Spirit to cause some new things to happen. That's really what I've seen happen through Tending Our Soil.
So the question for the Tending Our Soil staff is, how do we share this work? How do we offer the best of the resources we have developed with the rest of the diocese?
We are beginning to work on what we are calling the Next Vital Steps process, which takes many of the components from Tending Our Soil to a more adaptable and scalable structure. It begins with forming a team, working through 3 listening sessions to lay a foundation, discerning a next vital step to explore, and then working on that step. We have a few congregations who are excited to be part of our development of this process.
We were excited about the Next Vital Steps program because it just seemed like the right thing at the right time. We had sort of general concerns about how things were trending. It's just impossible not to say COVID because it was such a big, fat, hairy deal. And it really affected how we worship, how we gather, and how people spent their time by themselves and then needed to be back together. How do we welcome new people? How do we immerse them with the people that are here now? How do we grow together and continue to invite new people in? So our hope with engaging in Next Vital Steps is just discerning what are those next steps that we need to take to start to do the things that we want to do and that we think God wants us to do.
Church needs a catalyst. It needs something to help it find its way back into the community. The church was founded as a family and community church. That's where it was founded. But slowly it became just a family church as people moved away and the next generation did not come back. So using the program would be a way of getting folks to begin to think about how do we now re-engage with a community in which the church is located, but we are not. How do we reimagine doing things where we're inviting the community into the space? Not so much as being a member of the space, but being invited into the space and knowing it's available for their use. So the program for me is a way to to come up with new ideas, to look outside of ourselves, to reimagine, to stir up the pot, if per se, to get people thinking about how do we now do it.
We are so excited to be able to extend this process to the whole diocese. We hope churches will reach out to Anne Marie Jeffrey or myself, Emily Lebrecq, to explore how their church could become more vital.
Take.